Good morning. Joe here. Thought you'd want to see some of what I do for a living here. Today, I'm putting cab lights, clearance lights, whatever you want to call them, on a 2017 Super Duty. And for some reason, my center punch isn't working as it should be. Let's try it on one of these holes. There we go. Yes, I've already measured out and marked where these are going to go. And we'll come over here, and there's 3 more. Okay. So the hardest one to do, of course, as you can see, would be the center one. Especially for me, since I'm short, and I have to lean way over this thing to do so. But anyhow, once you get the first few, they're not too bad. I have to stand on these little pedestals to get my butt up here. But then I get to take a drill bit and make holes. Now what I do, I got some styrofoam holding the headliner down and away from the roof. Granted, now I measure this not once, not twice, like 3 or 4 times. Now these outer edges, I gotta be a little more careful because the center has a center console. So there's a little more open area in the headliner, whereas this does not. So I gotta make sure I'm holding the headliner down because I don't want to hit it. I'll show you what has to be done here. Be right back. Now, this is one of the lights here, and I gotta make a hole big enough for the wires and properly spaced for these studs. Right now, the hole for the studs isn't quite big enough, so I gotta make them bigger, along with the center hole bigger, and I'll put some shrink tubing and shrink tube it down over here, just so where it goes through the metal, it won't get cut open eventually. And I'll put some silicone or something around here too, even though it's got this foam seal. But I'd rather start making the holes too small and enlarge them than I would make them way too big. A little bit big doesn't hurt, it gives you some play. So now, yep, that's it. And so I just got to do that a few more times. They don't sit all the way flush, but they're going to get drawn down. And I still got to do a few more drills. And I'm going to piece this all together, and you'll get to see the finished product. But see, now I got a little bit of room to play. And I just got to do that a few more times. So 5 lights, 3 holes. So you got 15 holes that got to be drilled. And measure it out and all that. For the most part, you could kind of eyeball, side to side. The center one's the one you always want to get. Once you get the center one centered, you measure off of that. But these have these roof ribs, so I kind of just eyeballed it down the center of the roof rib. Now, I had some instructions downloaded for a different brand of these lights, and they're saying come back 7 3/8 or something. Well, that puts you right on this curve. Well, the light's not going to work on the curve. Plus, right about here, there's a bracing running across on the inside. So if you drilled the holes, yeah, there's some space between the roof and the brace, but you'd never get your hands in there to get a wrench to tighten these down or grab your wire. So they got to come back here, but I watched another video and this guy had them back further. So, but that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these, and I'll show you the rest in a bit. Okay, I'm back. All the holes are drilled. I took the air gun and blew all the metal shavings from the roof. So now I got some shrink tubing over these, where I'm going to be putting it over, as such. Now on Chevys, at least the newer ones, the past few years, you only put 3 lights on the roof because the center light is one big wide light with 3 lights inside of it. Whereas Ford and Dodge still do the 5 separate lights. So, but there we go. We'll fire up my torch. And we'll try to do this on camera. And we'll shrink this down. Like so. This is mainly just to keep that wire from abrasing on that metal hole. And one more. Okay, these are something new. They've never used these before. These are nuts. And they call them, what do they call them? Polycarbonate washers. And they go on the underside. Instead of having 2 individual nuts for these studs, this will be on the underside. Like so. Then the nuts go on there and sandwich it into the sheet metal. Now, however, this set of lights, either at the factory they screwed up or this set was returned by somebody previous to us and the nuts weren't in the package. So I have to run up to our local hardware store. Well, not hardware store, but more or less a hardware and tool supplier, wholesale place, and I got some. And what I got was even better. I got some serrated nuts. So they're gonna, act as a lock washer and get a good firm grip on there. So I'm gonna head over to the truck and start installing these, and I'll show you where that goes. And we're back. I've already taken a rag with some alcohol and cleaned around these holes just to get some of the road dirt off. If this was a steel-bodied truck, I'd probably take a little bit of, paint and touch these holes up. Doesn't even have to be the right color because no one's going to see it. However, being that this, is aluminum, we're not too worried about it. So I'm going to put some silicone. You're probably not getting all this on camera because I'm doing this at a weird angle, but I'm just going to put a little silicone all around here just to make sure everything's good. Then I'll drop the wires down, drop the light into place, ta-da, and repeat for the rest of them. Let me bring my hand around here. I got my camera in this little stand, this little octopus stand, and it's just sort of balanced on the windshield here. Luckily it's got like rubber tips on it, so it's not going to scratch the paint or nothing. And then again, same thing, just a little bit of silicone slopped around there, just to, and making sure I got the front of the light facing the front of the truck, because otherwise that would look stupid. I lowered into place. And the same for the third one, or the center one. Then I'm going to have to get off the stand I'm standing on and go around the other side, because I don't have the body to make it all the way over here. Oh, see if I get that to go in there. Really hard to do from this angle, but there we go. Now I'm gonna move this a little bit, and I'll be right back. Let me get that side of the truck. Hello, I'm back. And let's do 2 more lights. And the same thing here. Just gob some of this crap around here. Between the silicone and the foam padding and being tightened down, it'll be just fine. Now, some of these lights, at least it used to be, on certain styles and certain trucks and certain brand of lights, the mounting studs were also the grounding studs. So when you mounted your light, all you have to do is hook up the positive. Now, however, on this one, I got to hook them up both. So what I'll do is run them in parallel from that light over there, over to here. I'll ground it to the the bracing, and then there's a wire down this corner of the dash specifically for these lights if it would have had them from the factory, but it does not. So now it's time to go inside. All right, back again. Now here's the fun part. We got to get this up here. The wires got to go through that center hole, like so. And then, and of course I'm going to drop one of the nuts, but that's okay. I got extras. Oop, I missed the center hole. Central hole, dummy. There we go. And I don't really think it matters whether it goes wide end, front ways, or backwards. I mean, it's just acting as a washer. But anyhow, there we go. Kind of tricky to do with a camera here, but I'll manage. Get this nut started anyhow. There goes one. And let's see if we get number 2. There we go. And then I grab my socket wrench. Like so. helps if I have it in the tightened position. Just take the slack out of here. And get them tightened down. Now we gotta compress a lot of gasket here. They gotta be pretty tight, but you also don't want to pull those plastics or those metal studs out of the plastic base. It's a matter of feel and look, because on the outside here I can see where they're settling down. There we go. That's that one. And if you come out here with me, ta-da! That's one mounted. Got a little bit of silicone squirted out there, but I can wipe that off. Now I just got to repeat that process 4 more times. So, hey, I'll be back shortly. All right, guess what? They're done, and they work. Let's, there we go. There they are. 5 cab lights, all shining in their LED glory. Yep. So now I just got to put all this back together. And you got to pull the center console out and the visors and these pillars, but that's about it. So that's done. Only other thing I have to do, the customer requested I check his turn signal bulb in the front here. So I'm going to do that and wrap this puppy up, and it's getting near lunchtime, so that'll work for me. So, hey, thanks for watching. Talk to you later.